Hello, and welcome to This is Mappa Live. This is our second live show. We did one live, and it's live, and we've still got a few people watching, believe it or not. Wow, thank you for everyone that's bothered to tune in. You know, I know Liverpool are playing, and there's a lot of people in Cyprus that support Liverpool, so they're probably watching that. But we have a few. There you go. Thas, how you doing, man? You good?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing? Christmas?
Yeah, all good. There we go. There's Edo. So you've got people watching live. Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas, boys and girls. First of all, before we start, I'd like to say a big happy birthday to Roy from obviously my No Choftes friend. It's his birthday. He turns 68 today.
Happy birthday, Roy.
Happy birthday, Mr. Roy. Happy birthday to Vitor Gomez, the Omonia or former Omonia midfielder, who was his birthday yesterday. She has the same birthday as Jesus. Happy birthday to Lako, who's on the Omonia coaching staff, and happy birthday to everyone else that has a birthday today, yesterday, the day before, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. Anyway, how was your Christmas? The cable guy, This is football.
I love it. Nah, Christmas was good, man. Christmas was good. You know, you got presents, you get presents going. So that's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Presents are the most important thing.
Yeah. As you know, having a child as well, the presents is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Anyway. Speaking of presents, shall we talk about the gift that keeps on giving?
Yeah, let's do it.
The gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. Anorthosis.
There we go. Right, that's where we're going.
Jesus, Dios mío, as they say. What is going on at this club, mate? What is going on at this club? 2 goals down against Anorthosis with less than 20 minutes to go. All pandemonium breaks, all carnage. I don't know exactly where to begin with this one, so I'll hand it over to you, mate.
Well, I mean, okay, let's get the first joke out of the way. Would you trust Warriors to put up an IKEA bookshelf? Because I would. I mean, Lingard's not doing much better. We weren't able to find highlights of this game because CableNet decided not to put the highlights up except for the goals for some reason or other. I think something happened during the game. I don't know what went on, but yeah. Anorthosis had 9 shots in the first game. In the first half, and Garmiodisa had 1, and there it is. Now it's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. I mean, beginning of this highlight is Loria passing the ball to Ikonomidis. I mean, Ikonomidis still had a lot of work to do to get like the proper pass for the goal to go in. But it's an absolute joke. Like the whole on the pitch, it's a shambles. In the stands, it's mayhem. In the boardroom, it's all out war. It's like in the meantime, there's all kinds of stuff going on with Wardar about Wardar, whether or not he's going to be going out the door because of some extracurricular activities. I'm doing quote marks for people who can't see. But yeah, it was massive shambles. There you go. There's a water bottle that hit Knobloch in the face. So yeah.
Ouch.
And then it kind of and then it got worse from there, didn't it? It's like there were firecrackers being thrown on the pitch, metal poles. Someone threw a chair. And they were all aiming for Knobloch as well. I don't know what he did to earn the ire of the Anorthosis fans, other than doing his job by stopping Anorthosis scoring. But the pitch was on fire at one point. Yeah, they threw a Molotov cocktail into the goal. There was all kinds of stuff going on. And the referee tried to get the match restarted. That's what I don't get. It's like, oh yeah, put an announcement on the tannoy. If anybody throws some shit on the pitch again, we'll stop the match.
Well, what he did, he took them off the pitch, and they were in the dressing room for about 10, 15 minutes, and then they came back on. They restarted, and within 30 seconds, they're back off the pitch.
Yeah.
So, mate, it's a fucking clusterfuck, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, as the players were walking off the pitch as well, there's a great YouTube video that was put there. There was a great video put online of like a really fat, bald guy yelling at all the Anorthosis players as they're walking off the pitch. And at one point, one Ganotti player gets covered in water. Was it the one that you put on Twitter?
We mean this one?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Is it this one?
It's a fantastic video.
There you go.
And
now,
then,
this video, I actually got it off the telly. I just stood there with my phone on the telly because there's no way that I was going to be able to get this footage because obviously they don't want people to see it. But, bro, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. And I don't really know how they can turn it round in a short period of time. This break has probably come at the worst time for them because more and more people are talking about it. I mean, we don't even know if the game is going to be restarted. I don't know if you know, but in fact, you probably do, or you have noticed that on Twitter, people were messaging us saying, is this match going to be restarted? And I'm thinking, why do these people want to know? But so many people put money on this game. So many people put money on this game. People, 2.5 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 goals. And the thing is, these people are from Germany, from Portugal, Brazil. Like, we could be like the source of information for these people.
Yeah. That was weird. I was like, I don't know. I don't work for the Cyprus FA, man. What do you want me? What do you want me to do? But from kind of experience with the Omonia game against Nea Salamina, was it Nea Salamina where it got rained off after like 70 minutes?
Yeah.
They played the rest of the match on a later date, didn't they? But
the next day.
I don't think
the game was the next day against Salamina.
Yeah. But I don't think
if they do decide to forfeit the game, it's a 3-0 win for Anorthosis.
Yeah. Everybody gets paid out then. So everybody wins except for Anorthosis.
Happy days. Happy days. Hello, Hal. Merry Christmas, mate. Our Sheffield United supporting friend.
You mean our Agrodiri supporting friend?
Yes, true. Here we go. The Ultras have done more damage to Anorthosis than help. Mario, I want people that are watching live to tell us what they think is going to happen with Anorthosis. And we know about Boulaidi, we know about Hamdullah being at loggerheads. Obviously, there's the Vardas situation, the head coach. I don't know if, Cisco Munoz is going to be there come January. I haven't got a bloody clue. So, I don't know. It's a good question. Do you think that Anorthosis are going to get deducted points?
I don't think they're going to get deducted points because they're probably going to look at the how they punished AL. So they're probably going to award the 3-0 loss, and then say, right, 2 games without fans, which the Anorthosis players will really appreciate because they don't want to be playing in front of their fans. So, I think that ban might actually help the team.
I bet they wish they could swap with Aris. You continue playing at our stadium and we'll go to LMSR.
Yeah, exactly. We'll play out the Tyrion. It's fine.
Anorthosis is going to suffer for the next 3 to 4 years. Well, could be longer at this rate.
Yeah,
they've had enough with Baldies.
Listen. Nothing to do with the bowl people. Let's not get racist.
Well, listen, the last successful Baldy was Ket Spine. He won him the cup, so shut up, Mario.
Yeah.
By the way, Mario is like
exactly.
15 years old and he's 7'8". Merry Christmas. Everyone.
What's he doing listening to this instead of playing basketball?
Fucking hell. Fucking hell. All right, well, I think we've spoken enough about Anorthosis tonight. I don't know what else we can do to entertain the viewers more when it comes to that fucking club, because they're as entertaining
They
as
do it
the
themselves.
next
I mean,
club.
all we can do is the music.
Yeah.
Etc.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
But is there
not
music for
as
shit
well.
show? You've got clown show.
Yeah, exactly. Shit clown show. It's like it if the clown was Warda.
Oh, fucking hell.
He's got the hair.
Fucking hell. All right, Ade, let's move on.
Just before we do, I just want to say, for Sofroni's Avustin Gavmiodisa, they had a game plan, and it worked wonders for them. They went to frustrate them, and they did it, and it was great. So let's not fault them.
We knew that his what's it called? His remit was to keep them up. The thing is, as you quite rightly mentioned on many episodes, they're an aging squad. So now that he's there, I think he sees that a lot of these players can't play the style that he wants, because we know that he likes to get men behind the ball, hit teams on the counter-attack with pace. With the exception of maybe Koulibaly, I can't really think of any rapid players that they've got. So I'm guessing that in January there might be a bit of a clear out, and he might bring in a few players. And it wouldn't surprise me if they've already agreed a few players to come in and just waiting for that window to open. There you go. Come in.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring a next game on now. I wanted to talk about Baralini, but first I want to talk about AL. They got a victory over Olympiacos. 2-0 victory away from home. At home. Apologies. 2-0 victory at home against Olympiacos.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh yeah, no. So it was the first game in the new stadium, right? So I mean, you can see there's loads of fans there. Absolute fantastic attendance. But reason being that is the punishment that they got, that they're not allowed fans for 2 games, plus the 1 away game ban that they've got, plus the fans not being allowed at the Apollona game that's going to be replayed as well. As I understand it, I think that's the way that the punishment worked for that. But basically, I had the 40 people that were allowed, and I think you see when the second goal goes in, when there's people celebrating, what they did is just got a load of school kids in, which is a great idea. You just get kids in the stadium to cheer the team on. Fantastic idea. I think Hungary did the same thing when they had a load of people back from the stadium. But anyway, kind of game side of things, I think Olympiacos will be really, 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 really aggrieved that they didn't come away with something from this game, because they played really, really well. Teixeira wasn't.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it weren't for Bilovar, right, with those 2 blocks, right, they'd have got something out of this game. In all fairness.
Yeah. I think the player that you've mentioned quite before, Teixeira, he didn't have a great game. he was quite poor from this one. But yeah, Bilovar made up for it. So as long as one of your defenders is performing, it's it doesn't matter too much, does it? But yeah, Muriel gets another clean sheet. Yeah, the game was a really good game, actually. The Esselink hit the bar for Olympiacos. I think they had, they hit the bar as well in the first half, didn't they? Or was that Esselink?
Yeah,
Hitting the bar.
Yeah, Esselink hit the bar with a header.
Yeah,
Guerrier
And
had
yeah,
a chance as well to make it his
yeah,
fourth goal of the season.
yeah, Guerrier is everywhere, man. And now that Sergio is in charge, I don't know what he's done to Guerrier, but he's showing up absolutely everywhere. He's like blocking chances, he's defending, he's attacking crosses, trying to put finishes away. Is you know, we talked about Sergio being like, what's he gone to Olympiacos for? Like, what's he seen that nobody else has seen? And I mean, he's kind of 3 points from the previous 3 games and 3 draws, really good performances. Unlucky with this one. You know, as long as he keeps them motivated, he's going to get points on the board and get them out of trouble, I think. But yeah, on the IL side of stuff, the strikers are finally starting to show up, aren't they? Casa played well. Berahino got a fancy footwork out for that second goal. Muriel is it's basically he's basically been learning off his brother, hasn't he? This whole time. There's performing wonders for him in that goal.
Well, is it Muriel or is it Alisson? We keep asking this question.
Well, yeah, I've got to say, Alisson conceded today, so maybe they've swapped. But yeah, yeah. No, there you go.
That's a great chance, though, isn't it? That's a great chance. You got to put that away. You got to put. I'm sorry, you got to put that away.
He knows it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Olympiacos are maybe 1 or 2 players away from being a very, very good team, or very dangerous team. Anyway, I wouldn't say like championship contenders, but a pain in the arse, because they have been a pain in the arse over the past few seasons. But you know, their best players have left. You know, as I mentioned last week, Sambinia left at the back. Obviously, Sarfor has gone to Apoel, and they haven't seemed to replace them. But they've still got the likes of Beglivani, they've got Carr, they've got a few other players. So I think they're a couple players short of maybe being a fucking nuisance. Defensively, they've improved, I must say. They're more organised, but they're conceding cheap goals, and I think their finishing has let them down. It really has.
Yeah, they're not scoring enough. Yeah, it's not.
So what about IL then? What about IL? Because we've obviously seen the managerial change, and they've clearly improved. His Berahino's goal.
Yeah, but, it's really nice footwork there.
Do you think that they will be in contention for top 6? Because there is a question here, which I'm going to bring up on the screen here from Hussein. IL is going to make it into the top 6. What do you think? I'd never say never at this stage, especially with the way that they're playing. But while they're keeping clean sheets with Muriel, is it because of the defense, or is it because of the goalkeeper?
Very good question. But either way, it's their defense that's getting them the points at the moment, because, well, I mean, before the last couple of games, because they've only been, if you have a look at their goal scored column, it's depressing for what they're kind of the outlay they put for players like Berahino and Mirallas and Casa and all these players, and they've just not been doing it. But you know, if they're finally coming into some kind of, you know, gelling together and actually getting their house in order, then there's no reason why they can't make that top 6. I mean, that top 6, there's really 2 places that are up for grabs right now, and you've got Omonia, Apollon, AEL, and maybe Salamina. We'll talk about that later, and maybe Salamina trying to get in there. I don't think Anorthosis are going to get anywhere near that top 6. Not
at this rate, anyway.
Not at this rate. So I think for those last 2 places, it's between those 4 teams. So it depends. It depends how the next 2 or 3 games go for each of those 4 teams, and that will tell us, okay, this is probably what the top 6 is going to be.
Well, if you put into perspective, they're 4 points behind Apollon, and they face each other. If they beat Apollon, it's down to 1 point. And 1 point at this stage of the season is nothing.
Exactly.
So, you never know. You never know. Anyway, let's go with Paralimni. Let's go with my, I wouldn't say my next favourite team, but I like them purely for one player, and it's the Austrian that scored twice, Vucenovic, a player who, I'll tell you what, we were talking about his stats the other day, and we were saying, he's only scored 3 goals in 15 games. But then we broke it down from a statistical and minute per goal ratio. And what was it? You said it's 800 minutes he's played this season, and he scored 3 goals. So when we calculated it, that's a goal every 270 minutes, which is roughly, a goal every 266 minutes, which is roughly 1 goal in 3 games. And judging by the type of goals that he scores, I believe if this guy joins an Omonia or an Apoel, he'll get 15 to 20 goals a season, man. That's how good I think he is.
Yeah, his movement for the goals was really good. I think he had a goal disallowed as well, didn't he? That shouldn't have been.
The header.
It'll come up, and maybe you pause the video or something just so we can just stare at what kind of fucking dodgy offside decision that was. But it was.
There it is.
Yeah, here it comes. Exactly. No. As my son says.
Well, look, I'm gonna pause it. Here because for me, looking at this, all right, you could argue that the camera angle. You could argue that maybe it's whatever reason you could think. But for me, right now, I'm looking at this. I'm thinking the right shoulder of the centre back nearest to him or behind him, shall I say, he's putting him on.
Yeah. I mean, if you let it go forward a little bit, you'll see them put, and they only put one line. I think they only put one VAR line on it,
let's see.
And you're like,
let's see.
It'll come up. It'll come up. I'm trying to fill the blank space up until it comes up. But
he looks bemused anyway. I don't blame him.
There you go. Look at that. They only drew one line. What the fuck is that?
Is it a really dark blue line? Or is it a really dark blue line and you can't tell because of the shadow of the? But for me, he's on. He's on. For me, he's on.
He's on. There's only one line there.
I can't.
Maybe it's a gold dress, blue dress thing, but I only see one line there. That to me says he's onside.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, it's his body, it's his movement, it's his movement off the ball, which is brilliant, man.
Yeah.
It's his movement off the ball. Is absolutely brilliant.
What do people think? Was that on or offside?
Well, that's a good question. So the people that are viewing.
Yeah. But but Paralimni are doing really well. Well, no, they're not doing really well. They're performing really well. So as long as they keep those performances up, they're sorted. They're sorted. They're not going to be anywhere near those last 3 places. They're going to cause some problems. I said I predicted a Luxa win here, and then they announced the team, and there was Sobchik wasn't anywhere near the team, so I'm guessing he's injured or went home early for Christmas or something. But as soon as as soon as that got announced, I was like, no Sobchik, no party. so yeah, I knew completely. Like Sadiq, when he doesn't have Sobchak up there with him, he looks completely lost. He's not. I mean, just in general this season, he's looked a bit lost, and I don't know if it's because of his age catching up with him, or he's got some fitness issues, or he's just not getting the deliveries into the box that he needs. I don't know what it is, but it's not happening. And kind of got a subheading on this.
Do you think that should have been disallowed? Do you think that should have been disallowed?
Oh,
that goal.
Yeah. It's. I think that one's a 50-50. I think. I think if you were on the defending side of that and it had gone and it was allowed, I think there'd be a lot of people screaming about it as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Fair enough.
the yeah. So I saw somebody was asking about Voxar going down. Marius Hussein, Voxar going down. Yeah.
Oh well, Hussein says no offside and the goal should count, and he asked if Doxa are going down.
Yeah.
I still think it's too soon to say, but again, the way that this league has been going, Doxa might be leapfrogging a few teams in the next few weeks. You just never know, man. You just never know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just this was a game that they should have done something, and they weren't there. They didn't show up. I mean, look at that. What was that?
Yeah, but
it's great movement.
but for me again, it's the movement. Yeah, it's the movement.
But
the way
they
just
gave the
peels
ball
off.
away in the first place. That's the problem there.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going to get rid of Chur anytime soon because he seems to be popular with the players and the press like him as well. Because every time there's a press conference, he goes up and shakes everybody's hand and goes, "How you doing? You okay? How you doing? You okay?" You know. So yeah, he seems to be a very likable fella. So fine. And the Doxa chairman came out in his defense in the past week. So I suspect that everybody's kind of telling him, no, stick around, stick with him. He'll come good. Whether he does or not, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, man. I mean, kind of the players don't have the motivation there. They look dead and buried already. They look like they...
The thing is, what's happened there? We're having fun and games with this fucking thing. Having fun and games
live.
Live, exactly. See, if this was being recorded, I could just say, I'm going to edit that bit out, mate. Don't worry about it. I'll just make a note of the timing and then I'll just edit it out. But I can't blame Roy here. I can't blame Roy. It's one. He does what Klopp does, being friends with the press. That's a good point. That's a good point, Stefano. Doxa and Agrida to go down. We wouldn't surprise me if Agrida go down, to be honest. But there's a couple comments here that are interesting. Mario says clear goal. But this is Caravida we're talking about. So, are we suggesting that Caravida has got some power? Perhaps, allegedly, perhaps. I don't know. That was a bit booky to me. Yeah. There you go. Here's a player, Diawara, the loanee from.
I mean, we've been
another club.
Every week we've been talking about him, haven't we? He's a really good player for him. I don't think our boy Abuela apparently looking for a winger. If they're able to call him back from the loan, call him back.
True, but perhaps he's not the guy for them from a defensive perspective. That being said,
that's true.
Is Marquinhos more of a defensive player? Is he one of those players that can that's great on the counter? I don't know. But listen, can't complain. They're top of the league at the moment, or joint top anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway, next game. Let's talk about. Okay, I can't not talk about my team, Omonia. 2-0 victory against Apollon. To be honest, mate, I didn't expect much from this game. I'm not going to lie to you, given our performance the previous week against AEK. But what I will say is that they impress me immensely, given their work rate, given doing the basics right, which is something that this team hasn't done for about a year and a half, I'd say. It's never an easy game, a derby, irrespective of the form of your opponent. And the fact that we got an early goal obviously helped us. A couple of saves from Muzoka in the second half, but Apollon were a little bit stale, especially up top. And what surprised me most, which is what I said on the podcast, 3 of their strikers were on the bench: Hendy, Dingini, and Dabo. They went with Bitta as a false 9. They didn't have a centre forward on the pitch. And it didn't surprise me that they were very toothless up front. And lo and behold, they made changes at half time. And yes, they threatened, but they didn't really do too much to give us any heart and mouth moments. And when Gaguli made it 2, we just knew it was going to be game over. So tell me your thoughts on the performance from both teams.
Well, kind of on one year, it's one step forward for them. It's kind of I think Roy said it a couple of weeks ago. It's like one step forward is good, but are you going to then do 2 steps back in the next game? Like what happened against some of the other big teams in inverted commas? It's I mean, can't fault the performance, especially the forward players. I think the problem Omania have had, well, they haven't been scoring goals, they haven't been scoring many goals, and they've been conceding loads, and they did the opposite for both this time around. So, maybe there's a corner being turned. I think the more interesting thing is from the chat that we had with Mickey earlier in the week, not earlier in the week, last week now. But it kind of gave us some clues about what's going on at Apollon at the moment. And it looks like the big problem the team's suffering from is fitness, because they didn't have the proper preseason, and he was saying that because of the European games, they weren't really doing much training on that side of things, because they were having to do recovery sessions and then activation sessions for the game. So they weren't able to train the players into a system. Now, Magridis doesn't have that problem, but he still has to get them fit. So I'm guessing that's kind of the issue here for Apollon. Again, just diving into more negative stuff on Apollon. We talked about last week how effective Bitas was, kind of sitting as the second striker rather than being the furthest one up front. And then Magridis thought, you know what? Let's change it up. let's put him right up there where he's not as effective. And I mean, it kind of proved it, didn't it? I didn't see many highlights with him in goal.
Well, do you know what? For the benefit of our viewers, I don't know what's going on with this footage, because it's coming up really grainy. So again, I apologize. So I don't know whether it's worth me just taking it off and then putting it back on again. But this is wild. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's been a bit of a shit, quality video. I don't know what's. I'm going to put it on again and see if that makes any difference. But
there you go.
Anyway,
that goal.
See, but
that's a really nice goal, though. Oh, he's gone.
Gagul, this one, yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. No, we did that.
So
it was a really good goal. I think on Monia's side, does Ferrara even know his best 11 yet? Because he seems to change it up every game, doesn't he? It doesn't seem to. Except for Lesjak.
For Lesjak. Even Lesjak didn't play. Even he didn't play the other day. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on at the club right now. But look, I can't complain. Let me just rewind it just so people can watch the highlights properly, because it looks like it's coming up all right anyway. But in answer to your question, look, I have a feeling that, as you said, he doesn't have his best 11. It goes back to the old adage where he hasn't had a pre-season with these players. It's not his squad. It's whatever we cover. But the one thing I will say is that while I've seen improvements in the style of play and I've seen improvements in the defensive side of things, over the past few weeks, they've made the same mistakes that they've done in the past. Now, I do this on No Chofters every episode, so I don't want to bore people with the same rhetoric. Hence the reason why I want you to tell me more about what you see as an outsider, because me saying the same thing ain't really going to benefit our viewers. But again, have you noticed anything different about this team, at least?
Listen, can you hear the washing machine in the background before I carry on?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
All
I've had my
right,
daughter
let's
watching
do
the
it
nativity for me,
live.
right?
But yeah, kind of the performances, they're a bit up and down, aren't they? It's really not happening for them. Every time they seem to come up with some kind of form, they seem to just drop the ball somewhere. It's like they start building up some momentum, and then they take the foot off the brake. I think that's what's doing the team in. And then obviously they take the foot off the brake. They don't play well. Motivation goes down, and then Ferrara's got a job to do to get them geared up for the next game again. So I think it's an issue he needs to solve, but the way he solves it, I think, it's something to do with his man management. I think that's what it is. It's just these players, they seem to put like one or two games together, and then they go, all right, we're on money again, and then they stop trying. I mean, I've seen you yell countless times about them not trying during the game. Just looks like they just pack it in. So I think that's definitely the case.
You got me mistaken with Chris. I think Chris is the one that complains that they don't give it the effort. For me, it's not the effort that's the problem. I've always said effort is a given. The main problem I've had is, as I said on numerous occasions, it's the same mistakes that they make time and time again. Like the ball watching, for example, or not tracking runners, or trying Hollywood passes. But in this game, it wasn't the Omonia that I'm used to seeing. It wasn't the laborious football. They were doing the basics right. There was a lot of fight. There was challenges going in. There was a few mistakes that we've just seen here with Gibson, just misreading the bounce. But the recovery there, Uzoho doing his best to stop the ball. They were tracking runners. Obviously, Dingini came from deep, but he didn't get anywhere. So again, on the basis of this game, I'm seeing improvements, but I don't want it to be, as Roy said, one step forward, two steps back. Next game is Paralimni. They ain't going to be easy given their form at the moment. So look, while it's great to be going into the break with a victory and in decent form, you can't let the standards drop. I know a lot of the players aren't actually in Cyprus now. They've been given a break. Some are in London, some are in Paris, some are in wherever. So this break
who's in Paris? I'll go find them.
I can't say.
I got to tell them to knock it off. Get back and do some fitness training.
Well, I could tell you for now, two players, two Omonia players are actually at the Emirates now, about to watch the Arsenal game. I could tell you this now. Two of them, because they're Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
But
none of them. Watch Gekira and Sport, the Super Sport, and whoever else going like, two players.
So and so was spotted at Highbury, Emirate Highbury.
If they're going to Highbury, it's wrong place. It's flats now. But
I know. I'm so used to saying Highbury. It shows my age.
But I mean,
what about Apollon?
Going back to Apollon. Apollon's got a lot of deadwood. Marios Lukagides is correct. He's saying that Apollon have got a lot of deadwood. Yeah, because those players were signed for a different manager playing under a different system. Then another manager came in with a different system, and now Magridis is probably not going to be playing the same system as Gadala. He's probably going to go back to a more traditional system, let's say, rather than and try to make them a bit more difficult to beat, rather than. But they've got those signings that they've got to make in January. They've got to really, really, really pay off for them to do anything good. I mean, Merry Christmas for Ongenda, Cabral, and Inja. They got released, I think, on Christmas Eve. So, hey, all right, lads.
Nice payout.
Exactly.
But do you know what I found quite entertaining? Watching the press conference full time with Magridi, right? Normally, when Omoni lose, Ferrara is grilled left, right, and centre, and I can tell him he gets really tetchy. But at the same time, he kind of knows the media game. Apollon's head coach, however, he was getting pelters left, right, and centre. But I tell you what, it's almost he had this like metaphorical baseball bat, and he was just smashing it back. Now, one journalist asked him, "Do you think you need more signings?" He goes, "What's 2 or 3 players gonna do? What are they? What impact can they make straight away? What can they possibly fucking do?" And do you know, in a sense, I kind of agree with him because that is how many. Okay, before I carry on, how many players in the summer left them that won that title? Catellari, how many more? Not many.
Yeah.
Not many.
Yeah.
So that championship winning squad is there. So how can you go, same with the money, how can you go from championship winners, and albeit they got a little bit lucky, let's get that right, because we saw they're running, but they won it. How can you go from championship winners to fighting for, Group A status? For me, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And again, I don't want to bring this back to Omonia, but it's unacceptable to be champions and then drop out of the top 6. So they've only lost 1 or 2 players, and they've brought in a few players that you could say are probably better, but yet they're struggling. So I can see what the manager's saying. I can see what he's saying. What's 2 or 3 players difference going to make? And let's not get it twisted. Jovanovic didn't play against Omonia. It was Dimitriou in goal, and he makes a big difference, man. Goalkeeper of the year last season.
No, Jovanovic is fantastic. I think we need to go back to the interview that we had with Mickey. He kind of like he didn't, he gave us clues as to what went on, and I think it's those players were signed with Zorniger in mind. These new signings that have come in. The directors decided when pre-season was going to start, and they said 4 weeks before the European campaign. And Mickey said 4 weeks is not enough for a pre-season. You need to work with them a bit longer. They didn't have the correct fitness when Mickey and Catala came in, and they weren't able to work on that. So you probably got these same players, but they're just not fit. And I'm guessing instead of working with them over the break to work on their fitness, they've probably just let them go wherever they'll go for a Christmas break. I don't know, man. There's too many people making wrong decisions at that club.
Well, if you think about it, some of the signings that they made, even last season, are questionable. Like Noyok, the what's his name? He's the Ukrainian midfielder. He signed and he left in the summer. He was only there for like 4 or 5 months. So obviously Kadellari left, Denic left, Markovic left, Irodotu left, and also Janga left. And I think Psicha's gone on loan to Olympiacos. But then when you look at the signings that they've made, right? Recio, he's been good. He was pretty decent the other day. Bernes, is that his name? The defender from Malaga? I forget his name. El Ajbar, I don't know what's happening with him because he's fucking not playing. Who else? Cabral, as you mentioned, he's gone. Dimata, he's disappeared. Completely disappeared. As we said last week. VAR comes off the bench, hardly playing. Houston, he's gone, hasn't he? Or is he still there? I don't even know.
No, it's the 3 that have gone is Ongenda, Cabral, and this Ingja that they got from Georgia.
And he was on loan. He was on loan out of...
No. They brought him in and then they sent him on loan to Doxa straight away. And then he wasn't even getting on the bench for Doxa most of the time. Yeah, so...
Well, there you go. Yeah. There you go. So, Anyway,
yeah.
Andoni is getting impatient.
No. Before we go to the next match, it's just a very quick little thing that I thought was really funny. So Lankelze with his whole flight to Gibro. Oh, yes, get the flight to Gibro. Let's do a video, and then
that's Omonia's fault, though. That's Omonia's fault.
Go back to.
Bro, that was Omonia's fault.
Was it?
That was Omonia's fault. They announced he was getting on the plane to come to Cyprus. Which lunatic decided that was a great idea? Who sanctioned that? Let's do a video that a Cameroon player is getting on the plane to come to Cyprus.
But we got that. But he signed for Kortrijk instead in Belgium on a 3-year deal, and he's getting released.
Who'd have thunk it?
He's basically Kortrijk have kind of gone off him because he's he keeps mouthing off all the time and being generally unpleasant to people. There's some stuff there was some racism stuff as well. They reported somebody within the club for racist behavior. So there's like all the things have mounted up, and they said, you know what, fuck off, on your way, son. So, he's available in January.
That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed well and truly. And the funny thing is, this club actually paid for this player. It's not as if you join them on a free. They paid for this player. There you go. Hans warned us from the beginning. Hans, the Antwerp fan who came on the No Trough This podcast to tell us about this player. He warned us. And then 24 hours later, as if by magic, your dreams became a reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fucking hell.
But yeah, that's it. I wanted to just bring that up as a little, sweetener.
There you go. Lovely. Okay, next game. AEK, 2-1 victory over Salamina. Game overshadowed by more antics off the field. Unfortunately, a journalist, Pavlos Gadis, I believe his name is, Pavlos Gadi, he was assaulted by Salamina fans, also a cameraman from Sida Vision. Utter fucking carnage. And all because, I'm not sure why, was it because of a penalty that wasn't given and wasn't shown on Sida? I don't know. I don't know the story behind this. Maybe you can shed some light. Maybe someone in the chat can shed some light as to why a journalist, who I believe was a deputy editor at Andena, was assaulted. But 2 goals from AEK, 1 from Romo, 1 from Altman. The goalkeeper making a hash of it. You gave him the curse, Thassos, for praising him last week.
I can't believe it. Between you and me, we basically lost Salah.
2-0. Sorry, Hussein. I said 2-1. I said 2-1. It's 2-0. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
And I made that mistake as well when I tweeted the score. For some reason, I put 2-1, but it's 2-0. My bad.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm getting old, Hussein. I'm sorry.
It was this game, man. This game. I was like, oh, Melissas is really good. I think you were talking about the 2 central defenders as well being really good. Man, just the 3 of them were utter shite. Like, oh my god. But yeah, I mean, let's not hide behind Nas Salamina being absolute crap. AEK were amazing in this game as well. So, they could have won by more than just the 2, even with Melissa doing whatever the fuck that was just then. But yeah, But
the penalty incident was the big game changer, wasn't it? And Sida didn't have it on the highlights, so I can't even show it. But there was a stonewall penalty not given to Salamina. And I spoke to one of their players, and he even said to me, I haven't seen the replay of it because obviously I was on the pitch. And I said to him, mate, stonewall. And he goes, well, what can you say? VAR is there for a reason, and clearly it's not being used properly. So
no, exactly. I think VAR said. I think VAR looked at it and said, no, fine. I have no idea.
Felipe was pulled back. He could have ripped his arm. You thought it was Mortal Kombat. He pulled his arm back so far, you'd have thought he was ripping it off.
Yeah, finish him. But yeah, it was.
Finish him.
It was. I don't know, but either way, you know, I came back from it. Like you keep saying, attacking from the wings, doing all the numbers that they need to do with that. A lot of doing great. Farage and Altman have been
this
amazing.
is a running theme. It's a running theme for Ajax, so I'm not going to go over it again. But it's no coincidence that the first goal came from a cross, a Romo's header, and the second goal was from out wide, straight centrals. Altman hit the ball. Obviously, the goalkeeper made the dog's dinner of it. But Piric has been brilliant for them. Again, defensively, they looked okay, but it could have been more than two. And I hope for their sake they don't end the season. Regretting a lot of the opportunities that they missed, because a lot of these games that finished 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-0, it could have been 4 or 5. And even against Omonia, they could have had a handful. This one should have been 4 or 500. I mean, look at this. How are you not putting this away? I'm sorry. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And this is the difference between winning the title.
Yeah. I was going to say, Romo didn't start the game. I think he came on. Somebody got injured and he came on.
Well, first half.
Yeah.
He scored first half, But, you know, again, that's a chance you've got to be putting away. If you're a centre forward, mate, you've got to put that away.
Yeah.
And as I said, they're ruining missed chances. And if they don't win the title, it will be because they're not scoring, putting away their chances. That's simple. Defensively, they're okay. They don't have the issues defensively. You don't see us talking about how bad they are or how, you know, shoddy they are, or I don't know, like they lack focus or whatever. They get men behind the ball. They don't give away many clear-cut opportunities. But, you know, if you're not putting your chances away from 6 yards out, mate, come on. It's got to be a bit of a concern. I know they're top of the league and people won't give a shit. But when you talk about goal difference, goals scored, etc., it's vital. It's vital. I mean, they scored 28 goals, which is more than Upwell, but not as many as Buffalo. So they're not conceding, but their goal difference, they're only one better than Upwell.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, there's a comment from Mario. There you go. I was at the game, half-time. They also tried to attack someone as well. I don't know who. At full-time, they were shouting Xilo, which is like wood in direct translation, but that's to give slaps to fight with the Ajax fans. And from what I know, they battered them. Well, how many fans have Ajax got? I think Salamina have got more fans than Ajax. No disrespect, but yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. But yeah, fines are coming. There's going to be suspensions. There's going to be fines. Salamina fans are probably going to get banned from the stadium for 2 games as well, based on this behaviour. After the game, right? Salamina just out of nothing, just on Twitter, just put. Hold on, I've got it exactly here, word for word. Full respect to all media workers. We condemn every single incident. Pavlos Gadi. And that was it. And then after that, there was nothing except to say Merry Christmas. They didn't mention the game. They didn't do any
further statements.
Yeah, nothing. But yeah, as well on top of that, right? I think when the penalty decision wasn't given and it goes to Bursaidi screaming his head off, like you see in the background, you've got cups flying over his head.
I saw that. The referee turned away to go back, and this cup of water just comes flying. Brilliant.
They need to do something, man. They need to do something. It like these bans, like people probably arguing these bans are affecting fans that aren't there to start shit, but the fans that are there starting shit are ruining it for everybody else. And they need to be shown that they're ruining it for everybody else, because then that will stop everybody else from letting them do this shit in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I know Yorgo Gazamia, the press officer for the club, he was on Sport 95 FM with Stella Sogrados, and he was basically saying, the penalty clearly affected the game, and there was a phase where the referee did give a penalty, and somewhere around there they lost their concentration. Obviously, he's not trying to put all the blame on the referee. I think he was being very, very diplomatic in that sense. But at the same time, he clearly is aggrieved. I think there's one point where he said that, I'm not saying that if the penalty was given, we would have won, but at least, respect the players, because it's soul destroying when you're not getting these blatant decisions. He says, people have seen it on the television. So what's the problem? He goes, we played against Agrida and a referee gave a decision against them. But this time, obviously, VAR wasn't implemented properly. So again, man, it's the inconsistency. It's the inconsistency that pisses off a lot of clubs. And when I was talking to a friend the other day about the Brodathlima, he doesn't really watch Cypriot football. He goes, Stel, the reason why I don't watch it, not because I don't like the quality, I don't think the quality is good. It's just the decisions that are made. It ruins the game. It ruins it. And I can see what he's saying. But at the same time, I'm like, well, there's been various decisions made this week, which I'm going to go to in just a bit when we talk about another game in Limassol, where I think the referees are trying to right wrongs by when they make a bad decision, they try to balance it by making another bad decision. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, I agree with you. I mean, I think up to a certain point, like up to about 2-3 weeks ago, the arguments about referees and VAR and the decisions that have been made have been a bit tribal. So like a team will go, "Oh, we didn't get a penalty. That should have been a penalty." And you look at it, and it's like it's not really a penalty, or someone's offside and they're not, or it's not offside and it is. But there's been a few decisions over the last couple of weeks that have just, where the fuck are they coming from? And it's only been in the last couple of weeks. Like I think I don't know what it is. Maybe because they keep trying to bring in foreign referees every so often. They bring in a foreign referee, and then there's a referee that's not playing. So, and then there's a whole there's a gap in between. A referee has been refereeing for 3 months in the season, that's used to what's supposed to be happening, and then the foreign referee comes up and shakes things up a bit, and then the other referees that have been there for 3 months already and making these decisions need to go back and go, all right, what did he do right? All right, let's do change it up, mix it up, and all kinds of things. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with, we're talking about managers being changed all the time and players being released and signed and 40 players coming in for a club and all this stuff, causing the same problem. It's a consistency thing. It's a consistency.
Yeah, but the problem is
thing.
The problem is they criticize the Cypriot referees, so they bring in a foreign referee for one game. He makes a few bad decisions. Then they criticize the foreign referees, and all we hear is, "Oh, why do we need to bring in foreign referees when we've got good referees?" I'm thinking, well, 1 minute you're shitting on this referee, and the next minute you want foreign referees, but then you don't want the foreign referee because he's made a bad decision against your team. So it's all gone, man. That's all it is. It's crying over spilt milk.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I said it a bit nicer by calling it tribal, but yeah, it is murmurco. It is just. But yeah, this week, this last match day, there's been some horrendous decisions. The penalty being one.
Yes. Well, yeah. Let's move on to another game, which I think had its own fair share of dodgy decisions. Upwell against Aris, top of the table clash. This is a game which I think Aris will look back on and think, while it looks like a good point, we should have taken all three. But at the same time, bad decisions that went their way as well as against them. Interesting encounter though, I must admit. It was end-to-end stuff. I think Aris had the better of the play, or the better of the opportunities. 1-1 draw, you might think it's fair, but at the same time, there's so much wittery going on with this referee and some of the decisions that he made that I think both teams were pissed off that they didn't win. What about this goal from Gagarin, which was ruled off as offside? When I first saw it, I thought he's on, but then looking at it, I think he was just offside.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly the same thing. It was just off, and you know, one good decision here at least. But yeah, I think it'll come up with the lines now. But yeah, while they were deliberating whether or not this was offside, there you go, there it is. So it's just his foot really that kind of just puts him offside. But yeah, while they were deliberating this offside call, I just want to bring it in. Konstantinov got injured. So I mean,
is that when Sacha came on?
Yeah. So people who've watched more episodes of this know that I think Konstantinov is probably one of the signings of the
You're a fanboy. You're a fanboy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I love that midfield enforcer type role, but him getting injured, it's very bad news for Abuel. It's good news for everybody else. But yeah, also
I need to ask you a question.
Good goal by.
I need to ask you a question about the previous. I'll say, let me ask you a question about the previous phase of play with Kvilitaya. Now, I've never imagined him to be this hold-up player, right? But what I will say, he does it very, very well. The thing is, it seems to me that this quest to find a new striker pretty much is as a result of his inability to have that extra bit of pace to take the ball past the defender and put it in the back of the net, which I'm not surprised because of the injuries that he's had. But if they do sign a new number 9, obviously Maglitsa's gone. If they do sign a number 9, are we looking at a potential like I don't know, like a Dabo, but strong, but quick? Is that the kind of player that the head coach is looking for? Because again, based on that, because this isn't the first time I've seen Kvilitaya do this, be up front, literally on his own, and try to fend off 2 players and either wriggle his way through to goal or try and create. Do you think that's why he's looking for a new centre forward or that type of striker?
Well, I don't know. I think Kvilitaya has been given a job and he seems to be doing it fine, at least for the hold-up play. Like he seems to, you saw with the chance that was there, that was shown at the time, while you had it up. But it was he's working well, I think, on the hold-up play, regardless whether or not he was the type of player to do it. I think he's been given a job and has kind of launched himself into it, which is, I think, what the manager is probably going to be looking for anyway. He's just not got the end product right now. He's played so many games this season. I mean, we talked about his injuries and international breaks and whatnot, but he's just not putting the ball in the net. He's just not doing it. And, you know, strikers, most of the time, that's the stat you're looking at, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly.
It's just not.
There it is again. I mean, he got a bit lucky with the break, though. To be honest, he tried to bring the ball down and he kind of cannoned off the defender's back, but he did well to wriggle his way through and win the corner. But this is Strutsky's goal. Another strike. If you look at it, he stops to watch it like go in. So it was kind of like a hit and hope kind of thing. But yeah, it's a lovely strike. And what I will say about Aris against Abuel is I was very surprised with the amount of times they got in behind them, because Abuel aren't the kind of team this season to allow forwards to get in behind them and get through break the lines and get in the spaces. They're very good at covering their backs, and they're very organised in this passage of play. But if you look at Addis, what 6 players in the box?
Okay, I'll tell you here, right? What is Dvali doing on Sacha to get up for that header? Why did he need to do that?
Like, I don't know. Let's rewind it. Let's rewind it and see about.
As if they're on opposite teams.
Hang about. Let's have a look. Let me take it back slowly. Sorry, guys. Hang about. Because I'm clearly not. Okay, let's look in the replay then. So the defensive line was good. I'm not going to lie. The defensive line was good. They looked very organised there. The shape was pretty decent. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, but just look. The Varley for some reason decides Sachas not up for the header, so he just climbs all over him to get to it. It's and then after the ball goes in, he's like looking at everybody, going, "What do you want me to do? Like what the hell was that about?" He's like he's literally climbing over Sachas, stopping him from headering the ball, and he would have had better control of it. And instead he decides to go flying in, and you end up with the goal. But yeah,
that questionable celebration. Though, I'd book him for that celebration. In all fairness, I don't know what he's trying to do there, but there you go. Yeah. Anyway, each their own. Look, at least Belic had time to do his hair. I mean, that was pretty L'Oreal-esque. But this penalty given now, Strutsky, hero to villain. You tell by his body language the moment the ball hit his hand, he knew that a penalty was going to be given. But I don't think he knew much about it. In fact, I think he was trying to move his arm out of the way. I don't think he was trying to block it. I think he couldn't do much about it, given that he was running towards goal. Now, the law or the rule is going to say that's a penalty, but for me, it's bounced just before it's hit his hand. I don't think that's a clear penalty, to be honest. It's a great penalty. Don't get me wrong. He's done the goalkeeper there, but what do you think? Was that a pen in your opinion?
Well, listen, the rule in Cyprus seems to be getting interpreted a bit weird. So there's been a lot of VAR decisions about with the handball where it just seems to be like the defender's arms just like it's kind of sticking out because he's like leaning somewhere or he's trying to balance himself, and then the ball kind of bounces off their arm and they just go VAR, just go straight to penalty. But so that means then, you know, based off of what how it's been interpreted everywhere else.
The thing is, you could argue that he was trying to be smart by moving his arm backwards to make it seem that it was accidental. You could argue that, and I can see why it was given. I think it was a tad bit harsh because if you watch it, he's trying to move his arm out of the way, but there's nothing he can do about it. That's why I'm saying it's harsh. I'm not saying it was like, oh no, it's not a penalty and I'll boil again all decision. No, because you'll see at the end that, you know, the other penalty was, well, we're going to go into that in a bit. But
no, I just want to talk about Marquinhos with these penalties that he does. When they work, but when they don't, they look absolutely shite, like what he did in the last match day. So like when they but
you could say that about Jorginho and Bruno Fernandes penalties as well.
Yeah, but they score. You know, they score more penalties than they don't. Marquinhos, all right, he scores a few penalties, but when it doesn't work, like you can't argue. You're like, no, shit penalty, mate. Well, I mean, what do you want?
Andrea says here clear penalty there. Well, and listen, that's your opinion, and I'd say if it was given for my team, I wouldn't complain, and I'd say exactly the same thing. And again, my whole point as trying to be objective is that you could argue that he tried to get his hand out of the way, but it doesn't surprise me that it was given. Let's just say that. But this surprised me that he didn't put it away, Bambiga, because you'd expect him to put that one away. Was that Bambiga? It wasn't Bambiga, was it? No, it was Mayambella. Sorry, Mayambella. And the thing is, he did everything right apart from the finish. He got his body adjusted his body well. But what he's tried to do, he's tried to put it across the goalkeeper, and he's completely fluffed his lines. He could have dinked it over him, in all fairness.
Yeah.
But anyway, as I said, Addis were getting in a lot more, and Bellet's made a fantastic save there. I think he's been a brilliant signing from. You know, a lot of the other players get credit, but I think Bellet's has made a massive difference. Scuffet was good, don't get me wrong. but I think this guy is more solid. More solid.
I mean, there's a reason why they re-signed him. I think at the beginning of the season, like, when we first started the podcast, I was saying like, the clean sheets are mostly because of the people in front of him, rather than him, because he was making some dodgy decisions to start off with. But I think as the games have gone on, his confidence has gone up and his performance has gone up as well. But yeah,
his chance. Second skin. What a block that is. What a block. Yeah. What a fucking block. Mate, I'll tell you what, that is that is how you win titles, man. When you throw your body in the way of the ball. That's how you win titles. But this, my friend, how this wasn't given.
This one here,
you know which team I support. You know which team I support. But for me, that is a penalty every day.
There's an elbow here as well.
On Sunday. Yeah, he smashed him in the face beforehand, didn't it? It wasn't Musonda smashed him in the face beforehand. But again, this goes back to what I said before about two wrongs trying to make a right. I personally believe the referee or the people involved thought that they fucked up with the first one and they tried to right the wrong by not giving this one. Again, you know which team I support, so this isn't me like, being a boss or nothing. This is a stonewall penalty if ever I've seen one. If ever I've seen one. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He hasn't touched the ball.
Right, so that's a penalty. The ball. And then watch again. There's an elbow.
This one
here.
He smashes him.
There you go. Smashes him. That one, they didn't even look at it on the VAR. So kind of like I can see that there was a very passive-aggressive social media post from Abuel after the game.
Shall we see the elbows? While you're talking, I'm going to rewind it to the elbow smash. If you look on the edge of the box, it's Musonda. He's on the edge of the box now because rights are close. I don't know. Was it Sacha? It was Sacha, isn't it? And he just elbowed him, man. Sorry, that's Randy Savage, mate. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't get it. I don't get it, and neither did whoever's in charge of the Abuel social media either.
Two penalties in 10 seconds. He's right. He's 100% right. You can't disagree.
Stefanos Bumboris is asking us to show the post. Have you got the link?
Show the post.
Have you got the link from my notes? So
you keep talking. I'm gonna try and bring it up.
Yeah. So it's the video of it is really funny because they show the two decisions in the video, and then kind of they basically state like, just for your ease of reference, here's the two decisions that you're going to be looking at when you do your VAR review. What do you think? And then kind of like the finish of it is it's like how they ended the video as well is it's something special. But I think people I think are here you go. Here it comes. There's a really good bit of text kind of right at the end of it. After there you go. Here's the elbow as well. Bam! Straight into Sacha's face. Yeah, there you go.
The thing is, what I will say. What I will say about Abuel's social media is that they are relentless.
There you go.
Do you get what I'm saying?
They're relentless. Now just Kereste. So just a little explanation for those who don't speak the Greek is Merry Christmas, Mr. Mazic. Mazic is the guy who runs the referee
referees
union.
association.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Mr.
It is a question. I'm being put right on the spot. The penalty of France's penalty in the World Cup final. Was that handball? Yeah, it was handball because his elbow was out. This guy's elbow was down. He's trying to bring it back. There's a big difference, but
it's kind of like that.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Down to interpret. Well, listen, as I said, I can see why Addis would feel aggrieved that it was given because he's trying to move his arm out of the way. But at the same time, as I said before, because I'm going to have to repeat myself, you can argue. There's a case where you could say he knew that the pen the ball was going to hit his hand, and he obviously moved his arm backwards to make it seem that it was an accident. Do you get what I'm saying? You can see it from it's what's the word? It's subjective, or like I think that's the right term. But anyway, listen. At the end of the day, one was given and one wasn't, and this goes back to what I was saying. Right? I personally believe that people in VAR felt the first penalty that was given was harsh. Hence the reason why they didn't give the one at the end. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you, but you know, that's two bad decisions to offset the other bad decision in inverted commas, because they could have still brought it back for the elbow.
Yeah.
But yeah,
now these guys are talking about the World Cup final. It's done. It's done. The World Cup final is done. It's done.
This is a Cypriot football podcast, man. We're never going to talk about a World Cup final in a Cypriot football podcast. You know.
No.
What do you want?
Well, we did last week. We showed the footage of was it Ferrari and who's the other Argentinian are both celebrating in the locker room?
Is it Villafañez?
Villafañez, yeah, they were celebrating the world. So we did mention the World Cup briefly. But yeah, listen. On a side note, this is completely going off subject here. But do you follow ESPN on Twitter?
Nah, man. Nah.
No. Today, I counted the amount of Messi posts that they put. Right, in the last 12 posts that ESPN on Twitter put up, 8 of them were about Messi. 8 about Messi today. I'm thinking, what the fuck? They might as well change their name to eMessiPN. They might as well call it eMessiPN. Anyway, whatever. Anyway. There's one more game, isn't there?
Before we go to that, I can't go a week without mentioning Alphamera Stadium and all the bollocks around it.
Oh yes, go on.
So this week there was a statement from the Auditor General, the government's Auditor General office, with a report on the whole construction process and how they've gone on with their maintenance and things like that. And kind of there's a few bits as well that Goa have been involved with that they didn't like very much. Goa is short for the Cypriot Sports Organization. So basically, Goa is like a public organization. So what they're able to do is they're able to appeal for public money to use to improve the sports infrastructure in Cyprus. So they were able to use public money to get the Alphamera Stadium built. But because they were using public money, they have to make the tender process and all the kind of the construction process and everything kind of as transparent as possible, because they need to kind of prove that there isn't any dibby-die going on in the background. And the Auditor General basically came out.
Brilliant.
The Auditor General basically came out and said, there's something a bit murky going on around here. So there's things like during the design process, they basically came out and said that Goa's project management experience was lacking in big projects such as the Alphamera Stadium, and they should have brought someone with experience into the team to get all the highway sign-offs and all that business. And they did that. But the other thing that the Auditor General recommended was to have a longer construction duration of 36 months, which meant that the project wouldn't have gone over budget or had suffered the delays that it did. But because they wanted this expedited construction duration, it means that everything got delayed And their contractor kept asking for compensation events, which is basically like asking for more money to finish off what they're doing. So everything finished over budget and was in delay. Now, on top of that, the designs that were done were not signed off by Goa. They weren't signed off by any of the teams, and they were deemed insufficient from the beginning. So that's another one. And then the big kicker, my favorite bit is that the contract for the maintenance of the stadium was agreed between Goa and the 3 clubs, but wasn't listed as an open tender. So what that means basically is that the 3 teams in Goa shook hands on a maintenance contract, but kept everything quiet, which you can't do with government money because everything has to be transparent. So my favorite bit of the statement that the Auditor General brought out, this is a translation, is in the event that the existence of illegality becomes apparent from the decision of the European Commission, we consider it self-evident that there will be a search for accountability. Off with the heads. That's treated. Heads will roll. Heads will roll.
Nah.
Heads will roll on the floor.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly. No heads are going to be rolling.
It's
no heads are going to be rolling. The correct term is bank rolling.
No, because if the European Commission gets involved, I mean, we've seen this
because this is Cyprus.
With the European Commission, we've seen this because they got the Greek woman that was in the European Commission, didn't they? They got her on the corruption charges for the briefcases of money from a Middle Eastern nation. But so that's all the stuff about the Alpha Mega Stadium. But then there's at the bottom there was a couple of paragraphs that were they were interested in as well. Is Goa wants to put a new roof on the Tyrion, and the Auditor General's like, why? Just why? Don't do it. And then there's also some weird stuff going on with the new training, with the football training pitches at the Magarion. And like the last final paragraph, there was something regarding a private investor putting in an offer to buy the Stelios Kyriakidis Stadium in Paphos. Now, who's the private investor that they kept anonymous? Who in their right mind would buy the Paphos Stadium?
I don't have a clue. I don't know. I mean, is this the same? No, it can't be the same person that owns 2 teams in Buffalo. Am I just shooting in the dark here? I don't know.
I'm only saying things that were written. Don't sue me. I'm only saying things that were written down.
You're also giving me a segue into our final game. The 2 teams in Buffalo face each other. It ended up being 5-2 to Buffalo against Agrida. The funny thing is, I had a WhatsApp message from a friend of mine at halftime saying, have you seen the score? It's 2-2 between Agrida and Buffalo. I said, don't worry. You'll see 2 or 3 goals from Buffalo in the second half. And he just lolled at me. And then at full time, I got another lull. So, goals from Vida, lovely flick there. 2 from Zairo, I believe. Mm-hmm. And who else scored? It was, Valakari got 1. And El Garuri, the former Stuttgart striker, if I'm not mistaken.
This is a really good shot as well.
What was it? What's that?
Oh God, yes, look at that.
Yes. Thing. Mate, do you know what? There's a comment here from Stefano. He says this was rigged. And I'll tell you what, I believe, I'm not saying that it was, I believe that it was. I think it was, because some of the mistakes that were made, not just defensively, but in goal, my goodness, from both keepers' mind. Now, I'm not suggesting both were on the take, or anything like that. Of course not. I wouldn't dream of suggesting that there's match fixing going on in Cyprus. Even though I said I believe that it happened. But yeah, do you want to talk about this game? Were you surprised with the high scoring game, or
I mean,
surprised with the result?
I mean, let's objectively look at this as if there wasn't any match fixing involved, right? So Gliton Bendreu doesn't start the game for Agrida, so in goal. So that's the first thing, right? There's this Castellani bloke who's come in instead, and Agrida, like, I just want to get my ticker, my Onodi ticker, my Onodi clock out. He's now 16 games and he hasn't played a single minute.
This is your favorite,
yeah,
your favorite goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, like like even
goalkeeper.
So Bendreu doesn't make the match squad, and Onodi still doesn't play. So let's leave that as it is. I mean, it could, if everybody was playing to their best of their abilities, then he wouldn't have performed any worse than this Castellani bloke. It was absolutely dreadful. But then, Antos as well was dreadful in the first half. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, mate, I can't talk about this game in the sense that I can't analyze it, because I'm struggling to find a way to dress it up like it was absolutely fine. It was a high scoring game, which is great for the viewers. It was to and fro, as you want to call it. But at the same time, when you know the background of both clubs, and you hear about the suspicious betting going on, you can't help but not lose a bit of interest, but wonder how deep this is actually going to get. In all fairness, again, I don't want to say, oh, it's definitely happening. It's definitely happening. But, the way I see it, if it walks like a duck and it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it ain't going to be a dog, is it?
No comment, man. But oh my God, look at that if it's not fixed, this goalkeeper needs sacking.
Well, they always say you got to palm it away. So when the shot comes in, they always say a goalkeeper has to palm it away from goal. I don't know what he was trying to do there.
He's trying to set him up. That's what he was trying to do. No.
Anyway, I don't know.
I mean,
even this one.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm sorry, but even this goal, right? The goalkeeper was going down before the ball even reached Valakari. I mean, he's just honestly, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think, if this was fixed, Semedo would have got a goal.
Okay, that's your argument. All right, that's you devil.
No, right. I've been very negative about Semedo, not necessarily as negative about him as I am about Waris, but Semedo is very good at passing. He's very good at crossing. He's very good at setting up. Man should stop trying to shoot. Like, everybody scored in this game except for him, and he had chances.
Yeah.
It's not like he wasn't.
Hold on a second.
It's not like he wasn't doing it.
Let me stop you 2 seconds, right? I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this, right? Just watch the number 5, the centre back, when the ball's played over the top. Just keep trying to watch him and see his lack of attempt to win this ball off Zaira. Just watch this. Look at him. Here he is. He gets beaten. Look at him. Look at him. Look at. Does that look like a player that wants to sprint and win the ball back to you?
No.
Look at him. He hasn't even got to the edge of the box.
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Right, but yeah, so Whilst you've been rather upfront about ownership, even though in theory Agridas are owned by somebody completely separate. I looked up the guy's name. It looks like Lithuanian or something like that. The surname looks Lithuanian. I'm just going to put some facts across. So Agridas have.
So what I need to say now. What I
There
need
you
to
go.
say
This
that
Semedo
it's
missing a chance.
Yeah. So am I supposed to say it's alleged that the same owner of Buffalo owns? Okay, it's alleged. I'm sorry. Apologies if I offended anyone or got it wrong. It's alleged.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sorry, you were saying.
It's a really good pass by Semedo, by the way. See, this is what I'm trying to say. Semedo is very good. Just don't get him near the goal. But yeah. I'm just gonna put some stuff across here. Just a couple of facts for you. So Agridas have a player called Magomed Khabib Abdusalamolov. Is on loan from Bafo.
You're on loan from Bafo, yeah.
Bafo have Besat Abdurrahimi, who's on loan from Agridas.
From Agrida, yeah.
Abdusalamov has played 8 times. He's only started 3 of them and only played 90 minutes once. And as a striker, he has 0 goals and 0 assists. Right? Abdurrahimi, who's on loan from Agrida to Bafo, has played 14 times. He scored 3 times and assisted twice as a right winger. So 1. Someone got the better end of the deal there. Second thing is Agrida have a player called Nikita Dubov, who
and he shares the same surname as the owner of Buffalo, right?
I know, right? He was signed by Agridas following being a Bafos player and being loaned to Agridas last season. Now, how many times do you think he's played for Agrida?
I'm not good with my Agrida
season.
knowledge, but this season I'm guessing twice.
He's come off the bench once.
Half there.
So you were almost there. So
right.
Nikita Dubov, he must be trying very, very hard to get into that first team. Obviously, he's trying very hard to get into that first team.
Possibly. It's an interesting surname, though. Interesting surname. I mean, I don't know how common that is in that part of the world where he's from, but I mean, I'm not suggesting
England,
that he's related to. Yeah, or maybe. North London.
Born in England.
He's born in England. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
I'll look it up as we speak. If you wanna, if you wanna vamp a little bit.
Nikita Dubov, blimey.
Right back. No, not London. Place of birth, Hastings.
Hastings. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice part of the world to get to be born in.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Hang about. How far is that from Salisbury?
You want me to get Google open right now?
If you want. I mean, I don't know how far Hastings is from Salisbury, but we have a bot. We have a bot here. Find my hot girls here. The moment you mention Nikita Dubov, we get all these hot girls things coming up.
Man.
So I'm guessing, maybe it's like a code name.
It's
the Battle of Hastings.
It's 2 hours and 30.
Yeah, the Battle of Hastings. Yeah. 2 hours and 34 minutes from Salisbury. So yeah, don't worry. I'm not accusing them of anything. But Hastings is in Sussex, isn't it? It's a lovely little part of the UK. I'm not sure how that happened with him being born there. Maybe his mum is English, or maybe I don't know. But anyway, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yep.
I just hope that this league continues to be entertaining and keep us, keep giving us more information and more shenanigans. Because I'm going to bring up the league table right now, and as I said, it's tasty. It really is tasty. You got Abo top on 37 points. Same with Buffalo, same with AEK. Then you got Aris, who are 5 points behind them, slowly creeping up behind them like a sloth. Omonia in 5th. Then you got Apollon, level points with Omonia, but with a game in hand. Salamina on 22 points. Ael on 21, riding their coattails. But then you got Anorthosis on 18, and this is where the depression happens. Carmiodisa, good win, allegedly. Well, I mean, I say allegedly, but it's not official, but they'll probably be given the win. So I fully expect them to be on 18 points. Then you got Paralimni, a good win against Doxa. And then the bottom 3, Doxa, Olympiacos, and Agrita, it's looking sticky. It's looking sticky.
It really is, isn't it? But yeah, there's big stuff happening at the top, man. 3 teams, exactly the same points. You don't normally see it. You do not normally see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. There
we go.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for Joel Malmo. I just feel sorry for Joel.
You feel?
Dude,
well, listen.
He's trying.
I'm sure they will improve. They're really showing signs of improvement anyway under this head coach. So yeah. Anyway, are we done for the week? The week.
The week. There's just one more thing I wanted to bring up is Achironas Liobedrio 1-2-1 against Alki, because somebody asked about it in the comments.
Are we talking about the baffling half-time result?
What? There was a baffling half-time result.
Yeah, 7-0.
Was there a 7-0?
Didn't you see this one?
No. This is
okay. Girona, they played Alki last week, and Girona were 7-0 up at half time.
Okay.
They ended up winning 8-1.
Jesus.
So they won the first half and drew this. Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see another red envelope story.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the Ligastico post from Gop. Eat up all that legalese.
Yep. Oh well, so this has been another episode of This Is Mappa, as you see at the bottom. I didn't put the ticker on deliberately because obviously I'm switching from footage to this, and there you go. Give us a follow on Twitter at Shoot Defense, at This Is Mappa, at Flares Cafe, and at Cyprus Football E, who's our friend who was on a few weeks ago. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know your thoughts on this week's round of games that's just passed. Let us know your thoughts on where the table is gonna how it's gonna end, should I say?
Hold on. Before we head off.
Yep.
There's the comment underneath that one. This is football, Charluska. All right.
This is football.
I just want to point out, I don't live in England, right? So no Charlie for me. I live in Paris, mate. I'm
You're a Charlie.
So, yeah, exactly. Charlie.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful.
Lovely.
Right.
All right, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back. I see there's a comment here. The what? Look somewhere deep in the drawer for that red envelope. What did I say? I can't remember what I said, Mikhali. Sorry, I'm like my brain is like a fucking lava lamp at the moment, in all fairness. Honestly, fucking all over the place. But here we go. Anyway, my friend, thank you very much for jumping on. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back with a recorded episode in the new year. We're not going to do any lives for a while. Although I think we need to do our half team of the season. We need to choose our best 11 players for the half season.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
We'll do that on the next one.
Yeah. Yep.
There we go.
Sorted.
Do you want to sign off, Thasso? Do you want to end it for everyone?
Thank you, everyone.
End everyone's
Thank
life.
you
I'm
for
just saying that in the
watching.
show.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. This is Mappa.
This